Thank you, Pete, for welcoming me. Thank you, Gina, too. Great to see you here, everyone. It's great to be part of the session of an NXT event once again. I did that the first 21 for our UI NXT series. The NXT series of events has been going on for 6 years. We launched 3 years back. I'm really happy to be here. I'm really connected to the world of data and AI for the last 6 years, I would say. I led our AI and data studio in the past 2, and now as part of trying to make sense of every major worldwide and how that will transform us as a company, but also to our. This includes, among others, that will be a big part of what we are going to be discussing today, but also encompasses things like robotics that has seen a massive step forward with the new development of AI that we are seeing, and also quantum computing, which I'm convinced will be powering the future of AI and robotics too. Having said that, as Gina mentioned, we are going truly global into this event right now. We will be having people in Asia, Europe, Latin America, the US, talking across these 3 hours that we are going to be living together and enjoying together. Some of the topics that we'll be covering here are things like synthetic data creation and the impact it will have, how to build and make tangible AI strategies, something that is right now trying to understand, which is the impact that Gen AI and AI overall will have on businesses. Because I want to make sure that everyone in here remembers for what we have done in the last years. It's going to be revolutionizing the way we work, and I will be talking a bit more about that in a couple of minutes. But there are a lot of other techniques in the AI world that are relevant and that will have an impact. And some things that are very complementary to the fact of building an AI strategy are things like data governance or MLOps, yes, which are crucial in order to properly reach a maturity level according to the needs of actual enterprises when leveraging AI, when leveraging the data they are collecting and generating on a daily basis. Yes. And since we are a digitally native company, we have been working with cloud technology since their early days. This NXT series of events has been always characterized by the fact of having a combination of both speakers coming from Globant, but also external speakers. This will not be the exception. We will have people joining us from some of our major partners on the cloud space, like Microsoft, Google, AWS, and we will have conversations with them when going through all the topics that I mentioned earlier. Now, let me jump into what I was mentioning, the impact that AI will have over work and jobs. Yes. And I think we should have this present because it's transforming every single step. It's even transforming our own industry. Let me start by saying that human beings are technological beings. Yes, we have always been developing technology that act as a kind of extension of our capabilities, an extension of our bodies, and help us transform and interact in a different way with the environment that we have. Being that our work, our home, the nature, the planet, every step that we as humans has been doing since 2 million years back, more or less, has been on the development of technology that has enabled us to move forward as a society. Yes. This has not been a road where change has always been embraced happily. Yes, I'm sure, although I was not there, of course, that when the wheel came to be at some point in time in the rock age, someone was conflicting with the fact that we now have wheels. Yes, maybe someone within those early human tribes, human societies, was in charge of moving goods from one place to the other. I don't know, collecting good and taking it back to the tribe, for example. And when the wheel came to be and help us have a more optimized or more productive way of doing that kind of logistic, someone for sure felt threatened in some way. Yes. And I don't know if they did a strike like we do nowadays when we feel sometimes concerned, but for sure they resisted that until they understood the impact it will have, how it will benefit the overall society, the overall development they have, and embrace that technological advancement. This has been true also for every major revolution that we have been going on. Yes, the steam machine at first created a lot of disruption in terms of the society. We have the famous Industrial Revolution happening because of the steam machine appearing. And at some point threatening the way societies were at that time, but at the same time, it created new industries. It created a new way of producing good. It helped us expand as a society. We see cities grow. We see countries grow by producing more value-added goods coming out of the evolved industry. Yes, and new shops also appeared at that time. Yes, people started moving from working on the fields to the big cities to start working on these large factories. They started working on more added value tasks that the ones that they were performing before. Yes, and that pushed us forward. And when electricity came and we were able to mass produce it, we did one step forward with that. Yes, and it's even because of that that we are able to have a digital world nowadays. Yesterday, for example, Salesforce presented a report that comes as a result of a survey they executed with more than 6,000 people participating in it. 77% of that people trust that in a 3 years or more period, we will be able to trust AI to perform some task in an autonomous way, yes, without any kind of human supervision. But in between, 54% of the respondents are sure that we are going to be having good progress and a better productivity by collaboration between humans and AI. Yes, and that they trust what comes out from that collaboration, which is very, very important. Trust is very important for us to build relationships. It's important for us to move forward. It's important for us to develop new skills. Yes, to in some way find that resistance to change. Yes, that I was mentioning before. So if we look into how jobs are performed today, someone may say, well, they will disappear. Yes, the current job description, the current way you perform your work may disappear and will transform actually into something that adds a lot more value. Yes, and in which you are going to be putting all those skills that only exist by the fact that you are a human being and the way you reason, more into the center focus of what you perform on a daily basis, and get technology, get AI, take care of those tasks that are repetitive, that are low value. Yes, we have been doing that with every step that we have been moving forward in the digital evolution that we have been seeing. Yes, from the time that we started developing computers until now, we have always in some way trying to find ways for them to perform more and more tasks that we were otherwise executing ourselves. Yes, and that has enabled us to scale, that has enabled us to create new industry, to develop industries in a different way. And I'm sure that will happen. And AI as a field is evolving around that. Yes, in order to create more autonomy, we need even more advanced technology than the one that we have right now. Yes, and that technology is being developed by other human beings. Yes, and we are designing how that would look like, how that will behave. Yes, when we see the first impact of Gen AI, when ChatGPT was released, we saw in that a huge way of augmenting our productivity, which is something that we have keep on pursuing as a society. Yes, and those productivity changes that first came from, well, us interacting with specific applications like ChatGPT, were good. But truth be told, if you want ChatGPT to help you in some task, you need to sit down there and start writing. Well, now you can start talking to it, but either way, you need to provide a lot of context about what you are trying to perform in order for it to make sense out of that and really provide an output that is relevant for the task that you're trying to achieve. Yes, that has been evolving over the last 18 months, more or less. And we started seeing a wave of assistants appear. Yes, assistants are in a way optimized to perform a given task and can help you optimize how much context you need to provide these large language models in order for them to help you. Sorry, it's like, hey, I want to query a bunch of documents that I have. I want to understand a bit more about the knowledge base that I have in my organizations. How can I do that? Well, I can feed in some way. Yes, I can create a vector, embeddings, all those things for the LLM to get out of the relevant information in which it will elaborate and augment it, yes, and provide the answers to you. So you don't need to start copying documents or content from documents, and so increasing the context that you need to provide specifically for it to perform tasks. But I was mentioning that out of that Salesforce survey, yes, many people is trusting that AI at some point in time will perform tasks autonomously. In order to do that, we need to evolve the capabilities that we have in order for them to plan and then to execute that plan. If you go into interacting with an LLM, you will see that if you try to make it reason or go through a baby steps approach, yes, and plan the outcome for understanding a problem and then trying to solve it, it performs a lot better. And that field of study is right now being called agents. And right now we are starting to see how to really build them, how to make them be able to properly plan on the tasks they need to perform, interact with the tools that will allow them to execute each step of that plan, and then make sense out of the outcome from that. That will be the most relevant next step in this field. That will transform different industries. That will transform, for example, the software development industry. But we will still need to collaborate with them. Yes, we are not at a state right now of their capabilities in which they can be fully autonomous. Yeah, so our work will change. I envision that, for example, right now, if you undergo any kind of training as a developer, what you learn to do is interact with, I would say, tools that right now are like the most basic ones. An IDE, for example. Yes, it performs a lot of tasks for you when you are coding, but it really doesn't add a lot of value. Yes, and now with this kind of agents, you will be able to perform faster those low-value tasks and get faster to the high-value tasks that you want to perform. Yes, setting up a new project will be faster. Yes, kicking it off having the base libraries, creating the base code for whatever you're going to be building will be faster. Yes, and the same will happen to a lot of different activities. Yes, you can think of anything that requires certain level of planification to be performed by an agent and then supervised on the output. Yes, I don't know. You can have it perform some code analysis and code fixing techniques. And what you will do later on is find out if the task performed by the agent, the output it has created, is actually good enough. Yes, as you do with any other coworker that you have. I'm not afraid of a future where jobs change. I truly embrace a future where AI can help us and improve the way we work. I'm sure we will have a lot more fun in what we do instead of having to perform those tasks that are sometimes a bit more boring. Yes, truth be told, I have a background as a developer, and I remember that sometimes some of the things that I had to do when I was starting a project were not the most interesting ones. Yes, I don't know, setting up your database connection, creating your first data model around the application. Once you have think about it, once you have designed it, once you say, okay, this data model will solve or represent the challenges of reality that I want to get represented, I just want to go into actually solving the challenges that I really have, those business rules, those business requirements that I have to fulfill, to see the product that I will be creating become a reality. And that happens in, I'm sure, a lot of shops. Yes. So that's what I envision as the future of work, a future in which we will collaborate, in which we will have these partners alongside with us. There will be these different types of AI that will help us perform our daily jobs and tasks in a more effective way, that will help us, again, focus on where we can add a lot more value. And that will transform us for good, for better. And I'm sure that will also create new jobs. Yes. Some things that right now in some reports, seems to be really threatened by the fact that these technologies are rising. I'm sure they will transform into something new. Yes. So right now it may seem difficult to see which will be that evolution, but it will come. Yes, and again, new jobs will be created, current job descriptions will change, we will be collaborating together, and we will have a lot more fun, all of us together. Having said that, I'm really thankful for the time and really thankful again for being able to be alongside with you, introducing into this NXT event. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you find it enlightening. You can reach out to me through LinkedIn, for example. You can also follow me in Twitter. I will be more than happy to interact with all of you and follow up on any of the conversations that I'm having right now or any of the other topics that you will be seeing across the event. Thank you so much and enjoy it. Bye.